and welcome to the Glacially Musical podcast. It is beer, metal, and swearing. Of course, I am Nick Cameron, and I can't look at the camera alone. Look at me. Anyway, thank you very much for joining us. Oh God, I don't know what I'm doing here. Hi, Keefy. I lost the plot. I'm sorry.
Welcome to the Glacially Musical podcast. I'm your co-host, Keefy. This is our host, the eloquent and dapper Nick Cameron. How are you
The
doing
extraordinarily stressed out
Yeah, it's fair.
Nick Cameron. I am dangling at the end of a fish hook. That fish hook has $1 on it, like that commercial. Do you want $1? Do you want $1? Do you want $1? I want the fucking dollar. Anyway, thank you for joining us. As you know how we do this, if you have been here before, we do a greeting, which I totally mother finger fudged up, all up the Hershey Highway. My apologies. And my apologies for that. I'm very stressed out. And when I get stressed out, I revert to 1998 slang. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I am so sorry. What we do is we do a greeting, a beer check, vinyl check, news check, shirt check, meat of the day. Meat of the day this week, of course, is GWAR Ragnarok, which has something or nothing to do with the mighty Thor. I don't know. Anyway, my beer check is an abomination. I'm sorry. I'm the very much, vehemently, I am vehement, anti-Christmas, hasta Black Friday. That being said, my beer check this week is Goose Island Christmas IPA. Look, I was at the gas station. I wanted a new beer for this week because I love you. And I'm an IPA guy. I am what I am. And it was, I could do the little big hop or whatever the hell that purple one is. You know the purple one. It's delicious. But I've had it so many times. So I went with the Goose Island. Did you hear that pop?
I did hear the pop. It was very loud.
Omar, don't cut that. Thank you for helping me with my settings.
Poor Omar. I chatted with him for like 3 minutes earlier. He's also stressed.
I
The
did
unofficial mascot of the show.
Just gonna point out, I loved recording my voiceovers with Omar. He is far less demanding.
You wish. Maybe. I don't know. He had high praise for you. He said you did great. You were easy to work with. Much easier to work with than me. I see a theme. I see a theme. Do you want me to hurry up with my beer check so you can beer check? Here is a beer I have had on the
I did beer
podcast.
check. I want a drink check.
I want to. I have had this beer before, off the rails already. Amtrak. Almanac Brewing Company, Buenas Vibras, Mexican style lager.
Oh, you got lime?
No, I don't.
Got pop.
Good pop. I learned how to do it finally in the new apartment. Finger fudge pour. No whammy, no whammy, no whammy, no whammy, no whammy.
Anybody watching me will see the hockey puck in the glass.
I started watching a new YouTuber group, and they're just downing beers, and then he's like, "Oh, mate, you're supposed to let the beer settle," and he's like, "It'll settle in my belly. It will settle in your belly if you don't let it." Exactly, right? Glad that I said that now. Cheers from the cans.
Cheers, my friend. All right, if you don't mind, I'm going to go first. Oh my God, I am leaky and awful.
Goodness.
In a couple of days, theoretically, oh, hi, scammer. I don't want to talk to you. Theoretically, by this time tomorrow, I'm just going to be so unstressed that you're going to be like, holy crap, Nick, what happened to you? But anyway, for my vinyl check this week, I am busting out 20-watt Tombstone and Left Lane Cruiser, the Death Blues versus the Dirty Spliff. Here is the cover. It's an interesting cover because it's just a poster. There's no like slip, and it came with 2 of them, so I'm going to frame the other one at some point.
By the way, let's remind our people that we just did a chaser with Tom of 20-watt Tombstone, and they have retired the Death Blues moniker
and
permanently.
2 weeks after we interviewed him, or maybe only 8 days, I saw him play at the Sinkhole in St. Louis, Missouri. And here is a look at the vinyl itself. That is a gorgeous red and blue splatter.
I'm a bit jealous of that one.
You should be. Drop $20 on it. I'm sorry, $25. Sorry about that. $25 and $15 for the t-shirt. So I gave Tom $40 of my money that night.
You know, he's worth $40. He really is.
And then we also bought tickets to that show. I did not get in. I did not request a comp. Lawyer wife and I paid for our tickets.
Oh, that's kind that she went with you. I failed to mention last week that because I changed the recording day to suit me, you missed you missed Casket Robbery in St. Louis, and that was all my fault.
I wasn't gonna go. There were too many bands. If I were gonna go to a show last week, it would have been El Perro.
Okay.
El Perro features Parker Griggs of Radio Moscow. And Parker Griggs is to Radio Moscow what Dave Grohl is to Foo Fighters. So, and I've loved Radio Moscow for a long time.
Wow. All right then. I still would like to have Corey and Meg on as guests at some point. Halloween would have been a good time, but we can have them on at some point in the future. They're around and they're friends, so they will come. Friends of mine, friends to Ghost Cult, friends to Glacially Musical, as vis-a-vis.
Oh, by the way, this is the Glacially Musical podcast, a Ghost Cult joint.
It is indeed.
I'm still trying to get that in there. I mean, I think that works out when you say it. When I say it,
I like to get everybody to say it. Curtis Dewar, I'm looking at you and Aaliyah. Kind of, not really, but kind of.
Keefy's looking at Curtis.
I mean, I'm always looking at Curtis. Is that all? You have one check today on the vinyl?
Just a single.
Okay, I'm gonna do my vinyl check, and then I believe the news. I'll do the first news check. But this is a fun one. This is I got here back on track. This is the great recent album by Today Is the Day. I don't know if you're a fan. No Good to Anyone. This is from a couple of years ago, out when they were on BMG Records, and I got this at Recycled Records in Reno. When I was in Chicago and I went to Reckless Records, I was hanging out with Colin Frecknall, who is the new drummer of Today Is the Day. He's my homie.
Oh, do you need to pick that up?
Pardon?
Do you need to pick that up?
What do you mean?
That name you dropped?
Okay. You're much quicker than I am. Definitely off my game. So.
Oh, I am. The more stressed out I get, the more on my game I go, except for I screw everything up. So
this was $20. $20 for a brand new unopened record.
For the record, I am not a fan of Today Is the Day, but I am not a fan either.
All right, then.
I don't believe I've heard them.
Legendary extreme underground avant-garde metal band.
Everybody knows I don't like metal, extreme, or avant-garde. That's just not my jam.
Well, not only that, Steve Austin, who is the main progenitor of the band, has produced everybody you like. So
Stone Cold or the $1 Million Man?
Stone Cold, neither. The third Steve Austin, who is Today Is the Day Steve Austin.
There's another Steve Austin?
There's the third Steve Austin, and this is my favorite. And
Jesus Christ, that's a lot to live up to if that's your name.
This is the inner sleeve. Kind of interesting design. So instead of a card, a whole sleeve. There's a little staticky putting it in. So this is brand new. Just opened it right before the show. So I have not yet put it in the mylar. And here is the vinyl. And I'm not sure. There's a little dusty there. I'm not sure what you'd call this pattern. Obviously it's a splatter, but it's like a very muted.
I'm gonna say
orange.
That is no. Yes, I apologize. The splatter is the burnt orange. That color is, I would call that a tangerine.
Yeah, it's hard
It's
to
a
get.
tangerine with a burnt orange. If I had to wager a guess, and you're talking to a guy that's purchased more than one record that did not come in the. I'm talking. They can't see it.
No, I'm saying. I was gonna say I'm holding it up because I'm feeling like the Lion King.
Well, it is the Circle of Life.
The Circle of Life, and it's orange like a lion. Anyway,
as somebody who's purchased more than one splatter that didn't splat right, that looks like a splatter that didn't splat right. Nothing wrong with it. It looks good.
Album's great. I got to see this in concert right before the end of the world. It's one of the last in-person interviews I did in 2020 at the Market Street Hotel in Bushwick, Brooklyn, not too far from where I live.
Is that near Flatbush?
It is not quite near Flatbush, but it's...
I know Bugs Bunny knows where Flatbush is.
Bugs Bunny knows where Flatbush is. Flatbush is like about 4 or 5 miles south of where I was living.
Oh, did you know you're going to the Hamptons this weekend?
I did not. I'm going on the Hamptons of St. Louis, not the
Yeah,
Hamptons.
it's the Hamptons.
I was at the Hamptons once. I wasn't a fan. And
Do you know I got like a little
Island.
cigarette holder that says the Hamptons?
That's funny.
I can't figure out what else it's for. I mean, I don't know. It's a little tray. I don't know what else you would put on there besides Camel non-filters.
So I'm trying to deflect pain with humor because, like, I'm at my.
I got humor. I got jokes.
A little bit of my wits' end. I'm gonna start the news on a somber note. I had a personal loss this week. A dear friend of mine, my childhood best friend, my first friend ever, passed away from cancer. Fuck cancer. Damien, who is incredible. We had a lot of fun together as little kids and as teens and young adults. And then he moved to Atlanta, where he went to, did he go to Emory or Clark University? I can't remember which historically black college he went to. And then he ended up as a biologist at the CDC for the last 20 years or more. So he was incredible. His entire life would be a movie and would take a whole episode here. He also used to make mixtapes, like DJ. He loved music of all stripes. He and I bonded over a lot of stuff as kids. Pop, rock, metal, rap, everything. And he also had an entire room in his house just for toys, even as a grown man. He had a whole toy room.
That's what I'm sitting in right now is Nick's toy room.
Yeah. So cheers to Damien. Rest in power.
Cheers, Damien. Rest in power.
Cancer sucks.
If I could,
yeah,
and just jump in, let me bust up your somber and your next news story, which I'm not going to talk about. Let me jump in with my news story, which is something a little bit more fun, I think. 978-year-old Nosferatu, a.k.a. Mick Mars, has just dropped a new single called Loyal to the Lie. And this is more music than Motley Crue has dropped in the past 20 years. 2, it's better than anything Motley Crue has dropped in the past 28 years. When did Self-Titled come out? 95.
Yeah, something.
So better than anything Motley Crue has done in the last 27 years. He has dropped a monster of a track. It is riffy. It is angry. It is heavy. And for some reason in the whole video, he's wearing a druid-style cloak with it up over his head. And I'm watching this going, bro, I mean, I'm pretty sure you were on the Mayflower and helped Christopher Columbus make it to the New World. You might be a bit old for this. I mean, how was that first spaghetti? When you had spaghetti for the first time, along with Ferdinand Magellan, was it good? Oh, come on, that's funny.
That's pretty funny. I would say the track is good. I've been so busy and distracted that I didn't even get the story up on Ghost Cult as of this recording.
I only listened to it right while I was waiting for you.
Okay.
Started the meeting while I was listening.
I listened to it a bit, and I am going to try to do some kind of reaction video if there's time tonight. It's pretty cool. Nice to hear some good news. You know, like he definitely threw the gauntlet down, took the gloves off, and tried to pull at the guy's jersey. And Crew has new music apparently coming with John 5. Also, if I'm not mistaken, to piggyback onto your news, he wrote a new song with Karabi that did not make his new record because it wasn't good enough apparently. And Karabi's not unhappy or not happy about it. And then, because he just injects himself in everything, I don't know why. And then, apparently, as Mick is doing press for this thing, he is just dropping bombs on his ex-bandmates. Like, if they're gonna beef with him, he was like, you know, if you're gonna pick DJ Ashba to just write Motley Crue songs, make it 6 a.m., Nikki. So, brutal. So,
I'll be honest, I have no interest in a new Motley Crue record. I love John 5. We've talked about John 5 as a sideman in the past. Briefly, one sentence.
Well paid, never gets used.
Correct. He is, he's God, what was the name of the bat in The Natural that wasn't Wonder Boy? You know what I'm talking about? He's the Bat Boys.
My phone alarm started to go off. I know what bat you're talking about.
He's the Bat Boys bat. Right, he's the Bat Boys bat, right? except Wonder Boy doesn't break, so we never use it. That's John 5.
Weird also, related, semi-related, right? That DLR, David Lee Roth, is just putting out all these tracks he did with John 5 like 15, 16 years ago that have never seen the light of day. And they're all also better than any Motley Crue song ever.
Yeah, I mean, Motley Crue has not done a good record since 1995. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah, that's right.
That's true. Oh, update. I decided I'm not going to buy the $400 self-titled. Too much anxiety. Like, what if I drop it when I'm drunk? What if it's a counterfeit? What if, it's $400. It's too much. It's $400. It's too much. So I'm just going to buy a pile of other records.
Here's a better question. Will you buy the $15,000 Epiphone, Gibson Custom Shop Epiphone Kirk Hammett guitar that just got announced?
I'm sorry, the Epiphone is how much?
There's only two models, 1,000 or 15,000. There's no in-between model. That's the spread.
Maybe the one I mean, honestly, I didn't think I was ever going to buy another guitar.
Yeah, that purple one's a cherry. It's beautiful.
I don't want the purple one. I want the black one. Because, before I got my first guitar, I saw Cliff Mullen. He had that guitar, and that's like, oh, my God, that is the guitar I want.
Is that a friend of yours?
And it's got the orange drop. It's got the Gibson hardware. It's got the Gibson, electronics. It is a Gibson. The Les Pauls are... the Flying V's are not like the Les Pauls where they just got the veneer of the veneer maple cap. There's no maple cap on a Flying V, so
it's a Gibson. Don't let the name upset you. Epiphone is on the same level now as Gibson in terms of quality. That was not always the case.
No, they're not.
Now. I mean, they're close. I'm not talking about classic ones. I'm talking about ones made today in out of questionable wood in a strange factory somewhere.
The issue is, this is just Les Pauls, specifically Les Pauls, and I'm a Les Paul player.
I know.
The Gibsons have a maple cap. The Epiphones have a maple top. It's not the 1-inch cap. And two, Epiphones use a different paint that's stickier. Anyway, this is not a guitar podcast, so
it isn't, but it could be because it's about to be a guitar podcast because we have a gripe.
We are angry old men.
Hey, get off my lawn. So, Rolling Stone, who we have disparaged...
Find me a cloud so I may yell at it.
We've disparaged Rolling Stone a lot, and deservedly so. They are not really a serious music publication.
They're not what they once were.
They are a lifestyle thing that pretends to do music sometimes. So
I mean, do you ever go to RollingStone.com? Do you buy the magazine? I don't mean Keefy.
I'm on it right now.
I don't mean Keefy, which means not Keefy. I mean you, who's not Keefy. You know the answer. You don't buy it. You don't read it. Back to Keefy. Now that Keefy understands.
So, okay. Rolling Stone, I'm pretty sure it's clickbait, did this list of the top 250 guitar players of all time. Exactly. Raspberry. This thing. Boo that man. This sucks. This list is bizarre. It's bizarre. It's like it almost wasn't done by people who love music. And
or guitars.
It doesn't say rock or metal. So, let's face it, you and I are rock or metal centric, although we like a lot of other stuff. You love the blues, I love jazz. We both like classical.
And, give me some Chet Atkins. I got a couple of Chet Atkins records, some Les Paul records.
Segovia, Charo,
not Charo. Charo Coochie, but yeah.
No. Charo is one of the greatest guitar players of all time. Do you not know this?
No, I don't know this.
Oh, my God. Charo is one of the most innovative upper echelon flamenco guitarist of all time. She just got the sexy coochie thing, got on Love Boat and became a comedian. But actually, that whole thing was a ruse to get into the public consciousness as a hit-making flamenco guitarist.
That is one of the coolest things I've heard this week.
Top 5 of all-time flamenco guitarists.
So she's up there with Robbie Krieger.
No.
I know everyone wants to slap me right now.
Stop
I'm
it.
sorry.
Why
Please
do you
continue.
Do that to me? You always do that to me. You want to trigger me. I don't know. See how we do in person. I might just stab you with a beef rib.
I want to trigger everyone a little.
I guess. Gosh. So this list is preposterous. Who's not on it?
Give me 2 steaks, Tina.
So, kind of what? Tina, you lord. One of the problems with the list is it doesn't seem like it was done seriously. Seems like they picked some hipster people that people would like. They picked, like I love Joni Mitchell. And she's an incredible guitar player. I don't know if you know her whole story about how she had like a stroke or something an ailment as a little kid that like impaired one of her hands. So she created her own guitar style.
So she has a Tony Iommi origin story.
A little bit. But like she's not in the top 10 guitar players of all time ever.
No, God, no.
She's great. She's an incredible songwriter.
She's great at what she does.
Maybe put her in the top 20 songwriters of all time or top 50 songwriters, but not top 10 guitar players.
Spectacular doing Goodbye Blue Sky, I might add as well.
Yes, they did. Some of the list has 2 people in one entry, so James Hetfield and Kirk Hammett are like 23. I think that's insulting to both of them. Dave Mustaine, not on the list. Marty Friedman, not on the list. It's not very metal-centric. They do have some modern metal guitar players on the list, including Tosin Abasi and Tim Henson.
Wait, it's Abasi?
Whatever it is. I'm sorry.
I don't know. I'm asking.
I've always said Tosin Abasi. I don't know.
I've always said Tosin Abasi. You know, people ask me, how do you listen to that such angry, noisy music? Because I love guitars.
Yeah, but also, yeah.
And like, we're the best guitar players in metal.
The list is laughable. There's a lot of duos.
Bill Steer?
KK. I don't think any of those guys. There are like not a lot of extreme metal guitar players on the list. KK and Glenn Tipton are a pair on the list. It's just bizarre. It's just bizarre who's on, Jimmy's number 1, and I'm not mad at it. I still think he set the guitar so far forward in his lifetime and beyond.
Yeah, but so many people are so much better than he ever was.
No, that's not fair.
It's fair. Technically speaking, innovatively, no.
Anyway.
It's like I say, Ryan Reeves could beat up Bob Probert if you took Ryan Reeves today and Bob Probert from 1992.
It's a strange list, and they do have a preponderance of folk guitarists and modern indie rock guitarists who don't seem good at guitar or known for guitar prowess. Like Lucy,
I'm making faces.
Lucy Dacus is on there from Boy Genius, but not Julian Baker, who I think is a better guitar player. Or why not put all 3 of them, Boy Genius, as a trio? If you're going to have, James and Kirk, why are you going to not have all of Boy Genius as one entry? Why would you give Lucy the entry over everyone else? I don't think she's that great a guitar player. I think she's a cool songwriter and an all right singer. Like, I'm baffled at this list, and it just kind of confuses me. Joni Mitchell's 9 out of the top 10 guitarists ever on this list. That's wild. Right ahead of Dwayne Allman, and right before B.B. King. Like, what? No.
Okay, B.B. King does not belong anywhere near there to begin with.
Well, whatever. I'm not trying to
I love B.B. King.
I'm not trying to do the list. I'm just trying to say like, if you want to get mad, big time mad, spend a little time, go through this list. It's bizarre. The list is bizarre.
Quote Aerosmith, don't get mad, get even.
Well, that's a fair one. I like that one. Your boy is on here, James Ulmer. He's in the 250s.
I'm sorry, who the hell is that?
James Blood Ulmer? I thought you were a fan. No? You like the blues. I'm surprised you. Whatever. It's a strange list.
I like the blues, yes, but I like modern blues.
Here's the top 5, which you wouldn't argue with. You would, because you're a contrarian. But like,
I'm not a contrarian. Do not call me a contrarian. I will fight you.
You really?
I'm not. I hold minority opinions. That is the antithesis of contrarianism. I genuinely mean what I say.
Fair enough. Jeff Beck is number 5.
I'm just a nut bar. I love Jeff Beck.
Can I? Jeff Beck is number 5. We're not doing the whole list. Eddie Van Halen 4.
No.
Jimmy Page 3.
Yes.
Chuck Berry 2.
No.
Well, again.
No.
And Jimi Hendrix 1. Don't say anything. Don't speak. Don't say it.
Don't speak. I know just what you're going through.
Don't Gwen Stefani me either. But anyway,
I saw her in concert once.
I saw No Doubt. They were awesome back in the day.
I wish I would have seen No Doubt, because when much like seeing Rob Zombie when she played the No Doubt tracks.
I wish it was
bounce, 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 and then she plays the rest of the Gwen Stefani tracks.
The shiz is bananas. B nana nana. She got some hits.
B-A-N-A-N-A-N-A. That's a good song. I like that song.
She's got some Hollaback Girl. She's got some decent tracks.
But they ain't no Tragic Kingdom.
No Tragic Kingdom. No even the second record. Nothing.
Rob Zombie looking at you, La Sexorcisto. Nothing you've done has come near it.
Oh, I like the second record, but like I know what you're saying.
Is it as good as La Sexorcisto?
Nothing is, but like what else is? Nothing. The only record that year that's better than La Sexorcisto is Sound of White Noise. But anyway.
I would have said actually.
You were gonna say something death metal. Obituary.
No, Vulgar Display of Power.
That's 92. I'm talking about 93.
Wait a minute. Man.
VDOP.
Are we not talking about 92?
We're gonna
What
see
did I
Pantera
say?
on Friday. You said Vulgar Display of Power. That's
Right.
92. And Far Beyond Driven is 94. So I'm
Right.
talking about 1993. You said Los Exorcisto. And I said, what is better? And
Los
I said
Exorcisto's 92.
93.
I'm going to Google this.
You can go Google it.
Los Exorcisto, Devil Music, Volume 1.
1993.
March 17th, 1990, Motherfudgin' 2.
Really?
Yes.
All right.
You know how I know I'm right?
You won one. Good.
You know how I know I'm right?
That's the last one you're going to get all weekend when I'm there.
I know I'm right because I'm talking.
Oh, word. This is going to be a disaster.
You know what I can't say to lawyer
This
wife?
is probably the next to last podcast ever because after I leave St. Louis, Nick's never going to talk to me again.
Do you know what I can't say to lawyer wife? I know I'm right because I'm talking.
Oh, yeah, I know you can't. She's a lawyer.
No, she ended that in 2008 to her.
I don't know where to like take this, but like that was kind of my news story. Obviously, I'm coming to town. We're going to see Metallica on Friday. Oh, I met Lars Ulrich. Did I not mention that? Because I was so
You
depressed.
did not.
I was depressed about my friend passing away. That happened the next day. But I met Lars Ulrich on Saturday around the corner from my house. Living in San Francisco has had its perks, mostly about Metallica, literally. Seen him 6 times in 3 years, which was much more of a clip back to like my early 90s clip of seeing them a lot. And then they were doing a Black and Whiskey bottle signing because Costco is now going to sell Black and Whiskey. I know it's
We should just totally slam one of those.
I was tempted to think about bringing the bottle with me across the country, but that's kind of ridiculous.
Like the signed bottle?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the bottle I have. I have an open one. I don't know where it is.
They have it here.
I know, but it's going to be like $15 for a glass, and it's a sipping whiskey. You don't shout.
We could just go to the store and get one for $35.
I know, but that's $35.
You were going to be so shocked by how cheap
$35 is like beers. Is like that's like 100 beers. $35 to me. I don't know. That's a lot. It's
Okay,
a whole case of
maybe-
it's like 10 cases of Peeps.
Maybe you're not going to be surprised by it. Maybe you're going to be offended by how expensive things are here. All right, moving on. Anything else?
I met Lars Ulrich and Rob Dietrich, and Rob Dietrich remembered me from my interview with him a year ago, which is...
Yeah, I remember that. That was great. You were drunk that night.
I was very drunk because I did the podcast right after the interview, and then I drank the whiskey on the podcast.
And I think I was drinking.
I was
drinking rum that night.
I'm gonna open this bottle and drink it. I'm not saving it for any reason. I'm not gonna flip it.
Thank you.
I'm gonna drink the whiskey and save the bottle that's signed. Like, of course I'm gonna drink it. Like, why
Wait,
would
here. You want the smart play? Drink the whiskey, brew some iced tea, put the iced tea in the bottle.
Probably.
Straight up Kevin DeBro shit.
Do I have anything else? Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is this weekend for us to get mad at next week.
I'm just gonna whack the pud.
All right.
We done?
I guess.
All right.
Yeah, I guess we're done.
All right, thanks. Wrap this up. Let's move on to the next part. So.
Shirt check.
Oh shit! Shirt check. Tetris.
Yeah, I am wearing my Bad Religion shirt that I bought after I got into the show free.
My God, I hated Bad Religion so much in the '90s, but I love them now.
We're all wrong about things.
I'm not wrong about things all that often. Maybe once or twice a decade. I have a high opinion of myself. I mean, I do.
That you do.
I tricked a lawyer into marrying me. I mean,
That's
what's
tricked.
I can't imagine how else we could have gotten here. Anyway, so let's talk about 1995. Let's set the table for what becomes GWAR. America's doing well. I got nothing else. I mean, the recession's over. 1995 was kind of a bland year. The Major League Baseball strike ends, and America hates baseball now. St. Louis, for the first time in 50 years, pulls only 15 to 20,000 a game. Anything else in 1995? I mean, I can't remember anything else.
Speaking of White Zombie, Electric Head comes out.
Shortened NHL season.
Shortened NHL season. Super Rock replaces Headbangers Ball with No Notice. That was horrible.
Yeah, that was weird. And then Super Rock got canceled in like 3 weeks.
2 weeks, yeah. They tried to make Kurt Cobain's nanny the host. That was bad.
That's it. I remember her like in like the second episode. She interviews Tom Araya, and she starts. Was it first?
I'm not sure, but it was bad.
She starts like dropping like Satanic Wormhawk stuff. So that's pretty good, I guess. Okay, so yeah, 1995, it was a year that had 12 months, it had 365 days. Iron Maiden is essentially broken up. This is roundabout when death metal dies its first death. Metallica is on hiatus at this point after their Bored as Shit Ain't Got No Album tour. Danzig has essentially broken up at this point. The classic Danzig. Suicidal Tendencies is probably a thing. I mean, seriously, what happened in 95? Anything? Music-wise, I mean, nothing.
George Lucas starts to make the prequel movies and the special editions.
No, that was later. That was the first special edition was 1997.
Yeah, so 95, they're already making it. They're making them.
We didn't know. I mean, it doesn't count.
Well, I guess. All right.
Gotta remember how long it was between episode 4 and 5. And I remember being in the theater in 1997. Episode 4 comes up, and I looked at it and I went, "Wait, episode 4?" Because that was the first time we had ever seen that. It was 1997. Anyway, so yeah, 1995 sucks. The music industry starts sucking at this point. Video games are becoming the dominant source of entertainment. Movies are dying. We are moving headlong into the rehash, reboot, remake era of movies. As we just discussed, Star Wars is about to have its third theatrical run of the original trilogy in just a couple of years after this. So what do we get in 1995? In late 95, October 24th, not 31st, which is confusing. Although at this time we did get a Megadeth record a week after this, which was...
Euthanasia?
Yes, Euthanasia comes out in 95. On Halloween, 1995. I just remember him being upset in an MTV spot. But other than that, I mean, this is a wasteland, and GWAR's Ragnarok could only be described as an oasis in this desert of awful. You got anything to add? Because I got nothing.
It is a wasteland. It is a wasteland time.
All right, well, track by track, I guess. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, so yeah, let's say this. I think, right, we have yet to have the load Metallica. We are fully in the post grunge era.
We are in the
Kurt
metal is dead era.
Right, Kurt Cobain has died. Alice in Chains put out the self-titled album with the three-legged dog.
Mm-hmm. That one sucked.
Tripod. I love that record.
I might like it now.
We should go do it.
I hated it then.
Yeah, we should do Chains at some point, although it's going to be me, like, cake in the screen, because I love that band so much.
It'll give me a chance to trigger you.
So we talked about this arc of GWAR, where they're becoming less punk and more metal. Mm-hmm. And I think that this Toilet Earth has some good songs and some cool moments, but it's not a very consistent or great album overall. Could be the weakest of the ones we're going to do.
Really?
I really think so.
Disagree.
Okay. We disagreed last week. You were like, I think it's better than you think it is. I was like, no, it isn't.
This is better than you think it is. Maybe last week wasn't.
This record is a step back, I think, and it's because it's more metal.
It's got Sexecutioner. It's got Sleazy P. Martini.
With a few exceptions, it's a very metal record with a little punk.
Yeah.
And I think the changing of the times, the success of White Zombie, the popularization of Slayer, the commercialization of Cannibal Corpse at this time, I think all affects GWAR.
Well, and Pantera is just, this is... Divine Intervention comes out at number 8 the year before this. And I know I said metal is dead in this era. Metal is dead except for the 1% of the 1%. Would you agree with that?
I think I don't think it's fair to say dead because Metallica is the biggest, becomes the biggest band in the world. We also had Woodstock '94, in which Metallica
I
headlined
mean, dead
with
as
Nine
in
Inch Nails.
mainstream.
It's not. Yeah, glam rock has died off, and there's not as many people claiming to be metalheads. A lot of people are in the grunge camp, or
Yeah, we're at post grunge. People are now wearing dresses, the little sundresses.
right. But also, let's talk about gangster rap is huge at this time.
Yeah,
We were
Snoop,
just
Dre.
about to have, Snoop Dre, Pac, Easy E,
Oh God, who was the Afro Puffs lady?
Lady of Rage. She's all right.
Yeah,
She's
Lady
a
of
protege
Rage.
also a protege of them, but
Yeah, and
not yet Biggie. Wu-Tang Clan,
no. Biggie is here.
not yet.
Pretty
Ready to
sure.
Die is 95, 96, but I don't know if it's out by
This is
time.
95. This is
Yeah.
October
I
95.
understand. I think
Singles
Ready to Die is...
singles would have hit. We also had big Public Enemy albums at this time.
So there's a lot of weird things going on. Underground metal is a thing at this time, but it's underground. Like, even the biggest bands are not a lot of breakthroughs. Anthrax did have a #1 album with Sound of White Noise, the first band to get a platinum record in the year it came out. Metallica's Black Album turns platinum in 92. And Far Beyond Driven is the first metal record to debut at #1 on Billboard ever, which is insane.
Yeah, but we're, for the most part of that, we're a couple of years out from all
Right.
that.
Oh, you know what else happens in 90? Right around the same time as this GWAR album comes out, is Down makes their debut.
I remember discussing Down in college with some dudes and
Yeah.
hearing about, and Iommi was coming out. We were real close to the first Iommi solo record too.
Right. Is that the silver record?
I never heard it.
Oh, it's great. It's got
Is it?
different singer on every track. Philip
Yeah, I don't-
and Henry Rollins and...
For the most part, I don't like those. I don't like those albums.
Oh, okay.
The ones where they have a different singer, I don't get into a groove.
I understand. I think what I was going to say was what I think is that GWAR, there's a residual effect on GWAR when they make this record, where they have all this stuff in their head that's going on around them, and
Yeah.
they kind of process it a little bit, which you're not supposed to do, but they did to their, not to their detriment, but to their benefit.
Well, and I mean the thing is GWAR. Every album parts out a little bit. When Dave Brockie dies, rest in power, he's the last original member of GWAR. And we haven't spoken a whole lot about Michael Bishop on this run, but the last record was the last time Michael Bishop played for GWAR until he came back as Blothaar. On this album, we have Mike Dirks as Balsac, the Jaws of Death. We have Pete Lee as Flatus Maximus.
Pete ends up leaving after this time, but he was shot in the tour between the two records, and he was like, hanging on by a thread in terms of just being in the band. But he's on this record also. I think I had mistakenly said last week he departed before this record, but he's still on this record.
We also get the return of Chuck Varga, the return of Hunter Jackson. Probably the last record with Hunter Jackson. I don't know for sure. So, we got a bunch, and we have a good Slemenstra Hyman track, if you don't mind the subject matter. I live in Missouri, so I guess I should be okay with it. Dumb cousin fuckers. Boot heel. I said it. I said what I said. Alrighty. I mean, I feel like we're just trying not to do the thing. So, Keefy's not paying attention. He's on mute. Just going to go ahead and start
My
this.
light just went out, so I need a minute. I'm just having a malfunction here. Just give me a second.
You got to hit pause, sir.
No, I don't. You can just keep going. Okay.
All right, so we're going to start with Meat Mother Sudgeon Sugar Sugden Sandwich. That's not a thing. It's the first track is Meat Sandwich, and again, we have the typical GWAR over the top, over the everything. As Keefy mentioned, we are getting into a more metal era of GWAR. As the point I was making when I said that they're parting out each record is when they part out each record, when somebody leaves, somebody new comes in, and they become more and more metal until they get to the point where they are essentially just a tick or two off Slayer. As for Meat Sandwich, good track, good opening track, and that's the important thing. They put it in the right spot. It's heavy, it's fast, it's thunderous, like Nuclear Lelouch wants to do. It announces its presence with authority.
Fair enough. I think it's a very good opening track. Again, immediately it's heavier than the last record.
This whole record is heavier than
I'll have
everything
some
they've done.
notes about the producer when it comes up, because I think he's a fascinating choice to produce this album. I mean, no surprise they came back literally less than a year after this Toilet Earth. That record's not that good. That's why.
Yeah.
They did
I mean,
nothing,
you can't.
kept them on the road. Wasn't selling. No reason to stay on the road. Come back, make a new one.
Yeah, Saddam Go though.
Saddam Go-Go's a banger and maybe the best song ever by the band besides "Sick of You," my favorite song.
Yeah, what I would have said is I would have been slightly less effusive and just say it's all downhill on that record from Saddam Go, but it's the best 2 minutes and 15 seconds on that damn record.
Fair enough. Continue.
Next we get into The New Plague. Here we get into more GWAR storytelling. The story is awful. I'm sorry, it's awful.
There's a lot of bad takes and lyrics on this thing that do not hold up at all. I don't know where to go with it, but it's just super bad. There's a lot of R-word stuff on here your wife won't tolerate. No one should tolerate. It's not.
I actually dressed down one of my dudes at work today for using the R-word.
Yeah, it's not cool.
No.
Cool. Happens every day all over the world. It's horrible. It's a horrible thing. I understand it's for comedy here, and I get that. I'm not a prude, but I just feel like they're not holding up over time.
Look, simply put, there's funnier things in this world than that. Moving on to War Ghoul with an H in the spot you don't expect in your butt. I assume that's where
a lot of butt stuff on this record too. War Ghoul.
A lot of butt stuff on GWAR. I mean, GWAR just could have named themselves
butt stuff.
Butt stuff. They probably should have. It would have been a lot more honest and on the nose. War Ghoul, another good metal song. What we have here now for the first time ever with a GWAR record is 3 straight up metal songs. They are scratching the butt crack of thrash.
They are indeed. That is very accurate. War Ghoul occasionally still gets played, and it is a killer song. And definitely in my top 2 or 3 on this record.
Here comes my favorite song on this record. And what's amazing about GWAR and my love of them and my owning several records of theirs, not really knowing that there were more vocalists besides Odorous and Techno. Don't know what was going on in my brain, but here we have the return of the very sexy, the very seductive, the very awful Sexecutioner. I don't know where to do with that. But anyway, so now Sexecutioner is singing about not just endless orgies. Oh, hang on. I gotta wipe my nose. Keefy, talk quick. Get me off.
You should mute yourself to do this. But anyway. Ragnarok.
It was just a wipe.
Title track. Sexecutioner. Again, like the freedom, the free form. Anyone could do a track. Anyone could lead. Anyone could be featured. I love that about GWAR. That's really cool.
The lack of ego, the lack of lead singer's disease in this band is just unprecedented. Can you name any other band that does this?
Chicago. That's it.
Really?
Sort of.
No, you're making that. You're making
no,
that.
I mean, like, no.
You're making it.
Terry Kath, who's not
That's
on that.
not a thing.
Terry Kath is not on that.
Terry Kath is not a thing.
Terry Kath is
I'm
the
sorry,
greatest guitar players ever. Jimi Hendrix said he was the best guitarist in the universe.
No, he did not.
I stop.
No, he did not. He said did. Rory Gallagher was.
No.
Yes, he did.
Terry Kath.
Rory Gallagher.
Terry Kath.
Rory Gallagher.
Terry Kath.
Rory Calhoun, standing and walking.
No.
Sexecutioner turns in Ragnarok, which is a great, great song. Title track of the record, as you said. And again, GWAR as a unit getting together to get it done. They're playing the outfield by platoon. They are, they have a 1A and a 1B goaltender, and they're running the Wildcat when they need to run, taking Aaron, not that guy, that guy's a dick, taking Patrick Mahomes out the game and putting in the other kid for the Wildcat. That's not how the Kansas City Chiefs do it. I mean, I don't know.
Not at all. They never take out Mahomes unless he's hit hurt.
You know what I mean. You know what I mean.
Mahomes' brother taking out his spot with his wife. Oh, wait a minute. Hey.
I don't know what you're talking about because the football is over until like I think March.
Stop it.
Never.
Dirty Filthy is the next song. I'm just gonna move.
Dirty Filthy, another good track. I'm gonna point out this track is a little on the blandish. I'm not gonna call it soft underbelly because it's not bad. However, it's not as good as the next track.
I have nothing to add to that. That's true.
Next, we get into the oddly titled Stalin's Organs. And here's where it gets weird. This is what might surprise you, the listener, if you've never heard this song. It's about Stalin's organs. I don't know what kind of substances and what combination you're using to say, you know what would be a great plan? Stalin's kidneys.
Fair.
I got an idea.
Yeah, it was a reason to bring him up and then kill him on stage. I think that's what that was about.
No, fair enough. Well, you know what? That doesn't really take drugs. That is just good plans.
Fair. Continue.
We move on into Knife in Your Guts. Again, another... The thing about GWAR is when GWAR does straight metal, when they do just, thrash-ish, when they get out of that punky, when they get out of that crossover-y kind of good stuff, which is, this guy's favorite, they get, as Grant Wistrom of the St. Louis Rams put it in 2003, after they went 0-3, they get sometimey. They get real sometimey. And you know what? Knife in Your Guts, sometimey.
Fair enough. Mercifully, these couple of tracks are pretty short.
Completely agree. Now,
I think this is the soft underbelly of the record, actually. I really do.
Excuse me. It's not really you know what it is. Okay, whatever. Next, we get into probably my second favorite track on the record. I'm going to point out that my first favorite track is Ragnarok. My second favorite track is Think You Ought to Know This by vocals by Sleazy P. Martini. What do these two songs not have in common? Odorous. No odorous.
Okay. Right.
That's unfortunate. You know what? But I've always been that guy that really likes the track that's sung by somebody else. That's
fair. In my humble opinion, I think this is the final song Sleazy has ever sung on. So far.
It is the last song
in 30, almost 30 years.
But if I'm being completely honest, does GWAR do a really good record after this?
Maybe.
Okay, maybe. Your answer is not yes. Your answer is... Let me think about that.
The record before Brocky dies is really great.
Lust in Space? Or the one after that?
The one after.
Okay.
And
Lust in Space
then
sucked.
the record after Corey dies, Battle Maximus, is awesome, but that's probably not for you. It's probably too uneven for you.
Fair enough. Moving on into Martyrdom.
I love this song.
All right, you talk, because I got nothing.
Straight up crossover thrash.
Look, I was straight up driving behind a dude on a scooter on one side of me, and some jackass driving a golf cart on the streets in the Hill, which is a thing now. Apparently, the Hill has become a subdivision in Florida. Nobody told me. Drives me insane. I could take another route, but no, they're the ones that suck. They should change.
All right, Michael Bolton. Why don't you just go by Mike? Because he sucks.
He's the one who sucks.
Why should I change? He's the one who sucks. Martyrdom's awesome. And, again, top track on the record. One of the top tracks.
Alrighty. Moving forward. Next we get into, unfortunately, not that one.
Say Fudged? Fudged.
No, I said unfortunately.
Okay.
Unfortunately, not that one. I was looking at track 11. It's going to point out number 10, Nudged. I'm sorry, unmemorable.
Unremarkable, worst song on the record.
Fair enough. Next, we get into Fire in the Loins, apart from a couple of...
Unless it's nudged, which is possible. I don't think... It could be nudged instead of nudged.
It's not a thing. That's...
All right.
Well, you know what it could be? Maharshaferf.
Sure.
Maharshaferf is just as real as Nudged.
Not nudged. Nudged. There's a difference.
You want to say anything else?
It's Yiddish. Go ahead. Anyway, Fire in the Loins rules. Go ahead.
We could... There's one bit, and I'm not going to say it. They use the R word where... Wish they wouldn't have. But other than that, this is a song about Odorous and his sister having to repopulate the world. That's unfortunate. That's.
It is straight out of the Bible. People who love their Bibles never talk about the dark side of all these things.
I don't think anybody thinks about that as dark side. Frankly, they're just kind of. They're just like, whatever, Noah begat. They just like they did it twice. I mean, they whatever.
Brother, she told two friends, and she told two friends, and so on.
Uncle Daddy and Sister Mommy is wrong. Period. Looking at you, Boot Heel, Missouri. Said it again.
Alabama, Pennsylvania, Kentucky,
wow,
West Virginia, Alabama.
All right, brother daddy.
Florida, most of Florida. That's not Miami and Tampa and Orlando.
And including that. Anyway, moving on to Surf of Sin with a Y, because it's hot. It's like Cindy with an S. It's not dumb at all. It's dumb. Anyway, next we have the new, very angry villain, Cardinal Sin, who is Catholic dogma coming to roost. And, just squirt the man goo in Odorous's face. I'm sorry.
And somebody who would have done that for real, because it's Hunter Jackson is Cardinal Sin. It didn't take off, but Hunter relishes any chance to come in and nag on GWAR. That's what his whole job is, to come in and be the villain of anti-GWAR, because he made GWAR and he hates them for taking it from him. In a nutshell.
Ow. I hurt my face making that face. That was too much of a face.
What did your mom ever tell you? You keep making that face, it's gonna stay that way.
Nah, she was high.
Oh shit. God damn, this guy.
I'm just kidding, but she was.
Well, doesn't sound like you're kidding.
I'm not. She was high. The thing about GWAR and they keep attempting to have like the antagonist. And it's never been as good as Techno. No antagonist song has come anywhere near Techno Destructo. Fight me on this.
I'm not going to fight you. You're right. For a change. For once. For the second time this episode, you're right, but usually not. Good track. It's a good track.
Crush, Kill, Destroy. You know what? Anytime we get some Beefcake the Mighty style grindcore, call me a happy boy.
And this is the reason this record is so thrashy is because of mostly Casey Orr. And Casey Orr comes in this record as Beefcake, and he is a thrash metal wizard. Obviously, he plays bass here, but he's also a riff machine of thrash metal. He is actually the current Beefcake the Mighty. He is back in the band right now.
One of the things that, I get, I'm probably should mention this at the end, but I'm going to mention it now. Kiss fans like to talk about the characters in Kiss. And you know what? Frankly, there are no characters. There's makeup. There's no story. If there's no story, there's no characters. That's just... Characters are a part of something. They are part of a narrative. GWAR is the band that Kiss fans think Kiss is.
That is a fact.
They have no original members, but they have most of the same characters. They're still telling a story.
And they were longtime members. So,
That doesn't matter. The fact that they have done what Kiss has tried to do with Tommy and Eric Singer, it's got to be a thorn in their side. Now granted, GWAR gets 2,500 a night and Kiss gets 30,000, but whatevs. Anyway,
I think it's more than 30,000. But yeah. Anyway,
None But the Brave. Nah, I got nothing on this one.
It's all right. It's an ending track. They don't do so well on these.
They never really end a record well.
They don't, do they? Most of this record is good, and it's certainly way better than the last one to me. Way better.
Yeah, I mean, this Toilet Earth is the coolest, like, record, but what's in the grooves is not as cool as the color of the grooves. Because it's like, mine is half red, half black, and that's just awesome.
Let's, we keep forgetting to do the tier list at the end of series, and this is the end of the GWAR series. We also have to announce the next one. We've been forgetting. So
I remembered, and I whipped it to your brain.
All right. Do you want to do yours?
My tier list, yeah, I'll be happy to. My tier list is Hello is still number one for me, which is an unfair rating. I'm sorry, but you know, where you get on a train with a band, where you jump on is always going to have that moment. I'm not saying I've loved GWAR longer than you, because I probably haven't.
I think you have, actually.
Oh. Okay, well, whatever. I got on a couple years late. That's where I started. So, to me, Hello is A plus S tier. Then followed by Ragnarok. Then followed by... not Ragnarok, I'm sorry. Scumdogs.
I was about to say, like, what?
Yeah, Scumdogs, Ragnarok.
We just bashed half this new record right here.
Yeah, I know, fuck, right? Scumdogs. Fuck. Hello, Scumdogs, Ragnarok, America Must Be Destroyed, This Toilet Earth.
All right.
Unfortunately, the number 5 out of 5 is the one I do have.
Yeah, well, I'm going to say Scumdogs, Hello.
Fair.
Destroyed.
Fair.
Toilet Earth. Oh, no, sorry. Destroyed, Ragnarok, Toilet Earth. So I'm a little different than you.
Not much.
I think Scumdogs is a better overall record. Hello has the better couple of songs, but just not the whole good record. They weren't there yet. But I do love the punk rockness of Hello, and I do think Hello is... like those are both, like, 9s. Scumdogs and Hello are both 9s for different reasons.
They're real... I mean, they're real... Even as a Hello stan, those two are really close.
Yeah, and then Destroyed and Ragnarok, to me, are Bs or 8s. And
yeah,
then
agreed.
Toilet Earth is like a C.
It's like a 5.
It's bad. It's not good.
See, Hello and Scumdogs are both A records. You know, they're between 100% and 93%. I think either one of us would rate them both in that range. Ragnarok and America Must Be Destroyed, probably about 80% quality, at least 80% worth listening to. America Must Be Destroyed. I'm sorry. Then you get to... I'm sorry. Fudge. America Must Be Destroyed and... Ragnarok. That is right. Then This Toilet Earth. My God, it starts so good. It's about a 50%er. It's like half. If I had listened to it before I bought it again, I would not have bought it. Would you spend $30 to have that on vinyl?
I don't think so.
There you go. There's no ouch then.
Yeah, it just hurts. Do you have anything final to say about GWAR in total? We've kind of said it all, and I feel like we've been really straining to get through this episode, so I'd rather you not now do a 5-minute soliloquy on GWAR. Can you succinctly wrap up the GWAR series in a couple
GWAR
minutes?
is... Yes, I can.
And then I'll take us home.
GWAR is an amazing little band that has continually told a story. They are like MC Chris, except monsters. And that's what's fun. You know what? They don't always make the best 100% records, but they always make the funnest metal records. So give me something to listen to. Give me something to talk about. That's GWAR.
That's awesome. That's how every one of those last ones should be on every final episode of a series. Literally
that length
and that power, because I think we say so much about these bands in these series. Let's bring it on home tightly. And now, speaking about bringing it at home,
before we get to the
Oh,
next
we have
one,
to announce the next series.
before we get to that, we have at least 2 chasers coming
At
before
least.
the next series.
If
Because
maybe more.
Keefy, I'm picking up Keefy tomorrow at like 10:30, and I don't know what time I'm going to go to sleep after that. We may podcast tomorrow night, probably not. Who
Yeah.
knows? I mean, maybe we'll get in our, our underpants and just, do whatever, whatever.
I'm like, I don't watch Arrested Development, but I am never nude. Not even in the shower.
Ew, 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 ew. Love yourself. Jesus Christ.
It's hard.
Anyway, we're
until
gonna
I was
do.
9 years old, I thought my name was Hey Asshole, so it's really difficult.
We have at least 1 Metallica episode coming up, probably 2.
Let's see. I feel like we could do both shows recapped in one episode.
Well, I also feel like we need to do my alternate pressings episode,
in
since
person.
you'll be in my house where I have alternate pressings
Okay.
of several records,
All right. Fair enough.
including Metallica. So that
Okay.
ties into the Metallica weekend.
That's true. It's true. But that could wait. We'll see.
I will. Okay, it can like
Fight you. I will fight you. That's all.
we
that's
can
all Nick
record
has.
it. We can record it and do it later.
Put it out whenever. Yeah. Okay.
How much news are we going to have on Friday,
None.
Saturday, and Sunday?
None.
There you go.
Unless somebody dies. 0.
God, I hope nobody dies.
Yeah. Same.
All right, take us home. Announce, take us home.
All right.
At some point.
New
At
series.
some point.
The next series, when we finally get done with the Chasers and we stop guffawing uncontrollably from being together in person, the next series, as suggested by Nicholas and endorsed by me, is going to be the first few albums. We're not sure yet how many, but at least the first chunk of records by the great, dirty, rotten imbeciles. DRI.
Yeah. If we started with the crossover thrash of GWAR, we need to get to the proper crossover thrash of the DRI. I actually got 4 of a kind on Father's Day one year. It was $40 at the record space, and the dude's like, he saw me and the kid, and he goes, "Oh, $10, 25% off Father's Day discount, $30."
Fascinating. And very cool. You have a very good family. They seem to take care of you. It's nice.
Well, I mean, I can't.
Well, Jesus. And on that note, you have been listening to the Glacially Musical Podcast. I'm your co-host, Keefy. You can find me at Ghost Cult Keefy or at Ghost Cult Mag, basically universally everywhere. And of course, your host is Nick at Glacially Musical on most socials, but of course on the big couple at NIK_NO_C MOUSE Mickey Mouse.
Fuck that mouse.
Fuck that mouse. I hope Mickey dies under the cupboard of a poor home.
I hope Mickey gets GWAR'd.
I mean, I feel like they have.
Said it.
Have they
Said
ever?
it.
I'm sure they have. I think they're banned from Disney, by the way. They're banned from House of Blues Disney. Which is incredible.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's great. But anyway,
No, Chris Elliott and whatever show that was, when he plays blues and he goes to House of Blues, they're eating chicken wings. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Is that Get a Life?
No, it was a Comedy Central show.
Stand in the place where
They're at hallowed ground, the House of Blues, and it's like the amazing blues place, and the guy owning goes, "Boys, we gotta close. This is what people want to hear for blues," and he
What?
puts the needle down, and it's like John Lee Hooker, and they all go, "Ah!"
I like what Carlin said about House of Blues. White people's job is to give other people the blues, not to have their own House of Blues. That's embarrassing.
I'm going to
Anywho.
quote Bleeding Gums Murphy. The blues ain't about feeling better. It's about making other people feel bad.
That's it. So, if you made it this far and you somehow tolerated the banter of this episode, especially, you are a real one, and we really appreciate you. If you are listening on the Spotify or the Apple Music, please give us a 5-star rating. It actually makes a difference and helps us. We are trying to get these numbers up. I am trying to implore my audience to come over and become this audience to no avail or limited avail. So please, some kind of avail. Please like and subscribe. Or if you're watching this
Pierce the veil.
Pierce the Veil, decent band. If you're watching this on the Tube of You, you're having to see our mugs, which is crazy, but thank you. And as we say every week at the Glacially Musical Podcast, it does not play in Peoria. Neither does Sleazy P Martini anymore. And I'm now going to go pack for St. Louis.
And I'm sorry.
Not sorry enough yet.
No.